Welcome to Google Pixel Day, and these are our first official looks at the new Pixel 11s if you ignore all of those leaks over the past couple of weeks. I just got to spend a couple of hours with these phones, and all I can say is buckle up, because these phones are all getting $100 more expensive. That means the Pixel 11, it starts at $899, the Pro starts at $1099, and the XL is $1299, and the Pixel 11 Pro Fold, that starts at $1899. And if you're wondering, these phones feel very similar to last year's phones and the years before, and the changes on the outside, they're very small. Like, we have some new colours. This hibiscus is just not the one. There's a slightly thinner camera visor on the Pixel 11s, there's a snazzy flashing light on the Pros, and there's some brighter displays on those Pros as well. But I suppose the question is, have Google given you enough, considering the prices are now $100 more expensive than they were last year? And the answer is, I don't think so. I'm going to start with the Pro phones, and besides the battery, the charging speeds and display size, the Pro and the Pro XL are identical. My favourite addition though on the Pixel 11 Pro, the smaller one, is that Google have finally done away with the 128 gigs of storage, so 256 gigs is now the base you can get on this. What Google gives with one hand though, they take with the other, because all of these phones now start with 12 gigs of RAM. If you want 16 gigs, then you need to buy a Pro model that has 512 gigs or 1 terabyte, or you need to buy the Pixel 11 Pro Fold. Okay, let's talk camera. I'll concentrate on the Pro phones first. The ultra-wide and the selfie cameras, they are exactly the same as last year, but the main and the 5x telephoto, this is where the tweaks are. For the 5x telephoto, this is a whole new sensor. It's a new 1/1.95 inch sensor, which Google says is 30% more light sensitive than last year's Pros. It's still 48 megapixels, still f2.8, but Google did tell me that it is completely redesigned, so this means now you can do 5x portrait shots. Yes. Oh, and also you can now go beyond 100 times zoom, so you can do 120 times if you needed it, and I'll let you be the judge of how good the photos are from this one. I did say that the main camera had been upgraded as well, and it has. It's a completely new sensor, but it's kind of less exciting because as new as the sensor is, the specs of this main camera are exactly the same as the ones on the Pixel 10 Pros. Where the main camera sensor does change though is on the base Pixel 11. Now, the ultra-wide and 5x telephoto, they are basically the same as last year, except you can now zoom up to 30 times if you want to. But the main camera, this is where it changes. It's now a 1/1.56 inch sensor, which hopefully, again, this means that the camera should be letting in more light in those darker situations. Google said it has 56% better light sensitivity, but so far I can't really test that, so I can't get too excited about it. But there is something that I am very excited about, and this is camera looks. This is something I mentioned months ago that I wanted, and essentially what this is now is it gives your pictures a new look without needing the hassle of having to edit those photos, and you can pick from quite a few. So you have original, which is like the Pixel standard look. You have natural, which is a little bit more relaxed in its details. Shadows, which is like deeper contrast, and then you have vanilla, which is a little bit warmer and a bit softer. There is also a few film simulations like Digi that you can pick from, but minimalist, now this is the one that I'm excited for. Google told me that this essentially strips back all of that processing and is a single frame rather than using any sort of computational photography. So basically you get like a raw photo that you can then play with. When it comes to the camera looks, you can actually pick any of these as the default look when you're taking a photo. And these are also coming to the Pixel 11. And let me tell you, I've been so excited for something like this on a Pixel, so I can't wait to play around with this one. When it comes to video, it doesn't seem to have too many exciting upgrades. You can now do 4K portrait video, although this doesn't work on the Pro Fold because Google said something about limitations about how thin the fold is. There's also something called Pro Stable Video, which you can't turn on or off because this automatically kicks in if the phone detects you're shooting something shaky in bright light. Google also told us that video should have better sharpening and noise processing, and it should have smoother zooming this year, but again, this is something that we need to wait until the full review before being able to actually test this out ourselves. Okay, let's talk about this little flashing light. All the Pro Pixels are getting this new glowing light called HiLight, although I kind of wish Google did call this Pixel Glow. It's kind of like a better name. What this is it's a little gradient light which will glow when you talk to Gemini and when you get a call from your favorite contacts, and that is it. Like, seriously, this can't do anything else yet. I want to tell you more, but I've got nothing to tell. This only works when your phone is face down, and honestly, it's not even that easy to see if you're not looking directly at your phone. And I don't think it's super obvious when you're talking to Gemini. I'm just not a fan of this. The only customization you can do as well is being able to pick from 5 colors of your favorite contacts. I wish I had a little bit more to tell you, but so far, this doesn't work with anything else except those contacts who are calling you that you favorited and Gemini. It doesn't work with messages. It doesn't work with third-party apps. Google said it is coming to messages in the coming weeks, but who knows when that is? So at the moment, I feel like this is more of a low light than it is a highlight for the Pixel 11 Pros. What Google are really banking on this year, I think, is the Tensor G6. Google said that this is the fastest and most powerful Tensor chip ever, but they kind of would say that. This is built on that 2nm process, and Google is throwing some numbers around here, like the TPU having 50% more compute, but that doesn't mean it's 50% quicker. And Gemini Nano can be up to 3.5 times quicker, but those are the numbers I'm not that interested about. The number that I'm interested about is that Google said that this is 20% more power efficient. And you'll understand why that's important, because all the battery sizes in the Pro Pixels this year are smaller than last year. So the Pro, it falls to 4,850 milliamp hours. The XL goes to 5,115 milliamp hours, and even the Profile, that falls to 4,750 milliamp hours. Google has said that the TPU this year uses less power, and the fact that the G6 is more power efficient, plus there is a new modem, although Google won't confirm this is MediaTek, and putting that all together, it means that even though the batteries are smaller, Google still says that the Pixel 11 Pros can do 30 hours plus on a single charge. But I don't know, obviously, but I assume that the Tensor G6 is not going to be killing it when it comes to spec numbers. But if we can just make the phones run cooler and be more efficient with the battery, for me, that is all I care about, and that's a win. There's also a ton of small changes. I mentioned earlier that the displays are brighter, but they now go up to 3,600 nits on the Pro slab phones and are meant to be 2 times more scratch resistant. But I feel like Google says this every year, but I mean, I hope this is true because I drop these phones a lot. There's also a win for the Pixel 11 and the smaller Pixel 11 Pro because they both now have Qi 2.2 wireless charging speeds. So that matches the 25 watts of the Pixel 11 Pro XL. So if you're going to be charging wirelessly, it's going to be a little bit quicker. And when it comes to the wired charging speeds, the 11 Pro now gets 30 watts. So that means it can charge to 55% in 30 minutes. But get this right, the Pro XL can get up to 75% in that same 30 minutes. So I'm pretty impressed by that. And if you're asking the question, are Google using silicon carbon in their batteries this year? No, they're not using them. There's also a ton of new software features. There's one called Creator Suite that gives you a teleprompter, and this moves along with whatever you're saying automatically, which is kind of cool. And you can pick folders for videos and save them inside Google Photos to organize projects a little bit easier. I'm a big fan of this. There is live translate dubbing on YouTube, so you can actually translate videos in real time to different languages. And if you grab a Pixel 11 Pro Fold, it can now do ASL translate into text, which I think is very cool. Let me touch on the Pixel 11 Pro Fold because I feel like it needs its own section here. You know I'm a big foldable fan, but I feel like this is actually a little bit disappointing. Google has said that this is the thinnest and lightest fold it's ever made. And yeah, it is. It's thinner than the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, and it's lost 19 grams, so it's definitely lighter. But it just doesn't feel at the same level as the Fold 8 Ultra. Google did make one nice upgrade though to the cover display because we finally get an LTPO display. So that means that you can have that wallpaper always on display. And I know a few people don't like this, but I'm a big fan of it. I'm glad we finally get that on a Pro folding Pixel. The back of the phone for me though is quite interesting. It's not that updated camera visor or anything like that. It's the fact that now the back of this phone, Google says, is almost impossible to crack because it's made with this new glass fiber composite. And I'm so tempted to give this a go when I get hold of the 11 Pro Fold, but also, I don't know, I kind of don't want to break it. And when I walked into that content capture, I went straight for the 11 Pro Fold, and I got so excited because I picked the phone up and I realized that the crease just didn't exist. It was completely gone. But then when I came back to it like 2 hours later, I realized that I was just the first person to pick up that fold. So the crease obviously wasn't there. And after a couple of people had opened it and closed it, that crease looks exactly the same as the one on the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. And very quickly, the main camera is better this year, finally. But it only shares the same sensor as the Pixel 11. Like, I do not understand why this is not the same sensor as the Pro phones. It is so frustrating that Google seem to give this a non-Pro camera, especially for the price. So, there we go. That is your first look at the new Pixel 11s. And after a few hours with these phones, it seems like another refinement year from Google. But also, I've not really been able to play with these properly, so the full review, that is where it'll be a little bit more telling. I don't want to tell you not to upgrade to these phones yet, but I mean, if you have a Pixel 10 Pro or a Pixel 10, I don't think you need to be scrambling to update your phone here, unless you're obsessed with that new like frost color on the Pixel 11 Pros. Like, I really like that, but is it enough to upgrade? I don't know. Let me know what you think of the Pixel 11 Pros this year in the comments. Before you head off, if you can subscribe to the channel, then I would massively appreciate it. Thank you very much. And if you do that, then I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this look of New York. This is like the coolest place I've ever done any video. This is cool.